Hi, I'm the Artie Dans from the Asian Film Fans and the Artie Dans channels, and welcome to this long-awaited review of the 2021 Chinese movie Once Upon a Time in Hong Kong, starring one of my favourite actors, Louis Koo. First, let's check out what this film's about. The movie follows the creation of the ICAC and the hunting down of their first big target, Chui Lok, the head of the Hong Kong police force. Lok, alongside crippled Ho, the head of the Four Brothers criminal syndicate, controls the drug trade in Hong Kong, where massive bribes are paid to the police to look the other way. Hank Chan and Nash Park, the two men at the head of the ICAC, form a specialist team to go after all the corruption and bring down Hong Kong's massive criminal organisation, its police force. Okay, so that was a bit of a hot description, I know. But the problem with this film is that I feel like I've seen this half a dozen times before. Movies about ICAC seem to be very common in Hong Kong, and usually they have their own particular Hong Kong flair. And indeed, this movie itself appears to be a spiritual sequel to the 2009 Wong Jing film I Corrupt All Cops, which is actually a great name, ICAC, I Corrupt All Cops. So I think for a long time this movie was being promoted as I Corrupt All Cops Part 2, but ended up with this rather generic title of Once Upon a Time in Hong Kong. And I'm starting to feel that movies about crippled Ho are getting to be about as common as movies about the Monkey King. Now, I know that's not true, but it just feels like I've seen so many movies based on this character and based on the creation of ICAC, and it's a different story every time, and it gets less and less engaging with every new movie that comes out. The first thing that struck me, or one of the biggest things I should say that struck me with this film, is the fact that it's not an actual Hong Kong movie. Virtually every single producer is from the mainland China. And so this movie is definitely aimed solely at the Chinese market. No consideration for Hong Kong at all, other than having a massive cast of actors that are all from Hong Kong, other than it being in Cantonese. That really doesn't seem to be aimed at Hong Kong residents at all. Now, we've got Wong Jing returning in the director's chair, or the co-director's chair of this film. But again, it feels like, what's Wong Jing's role in this film? Is his name just attached to these movies to get people to sign on? Because like his last couple of movies, like New Kung Fu Cult Master, he's been sharing the director role. And I'm not actually sure how much of these movies he's actually directing, or if he's just sitting back collecting a nice big fat paycheck. Now, I say that it is a Chinese-made Hong Kong movie, and it feels like that because it's just another movie that is showing off the lawlessness of Hong Kong under the British rule, and the fact that it needed a Chinese-led group of people, that being the ICAC, even though it was a British initiative, to kind of sort out all this corruption that happened under the British eye. Again, it's a theme that just is overdone in Chinese cinema, about, having to take back Hong Kong, and because of the British being such terrible people. And again, the movie's not even filmed in Hong Kong. Now, there may be one or two scenes that are filmed in Hong Kong, but the street scenes are definitely filmed in a location in mainland China. There is a movie city somewhere towards the eastern side of the country that has all of these massive sets built. And you'll see that even, I'm pretty sure, Master Z, The Legend of Ip Man, was filmed in this exact same location. And any other movie that's supposed to be set in Hong Kong around the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s was probably filmed at this set. And that's another thing. This movie's supposed to be set in the mid-70s. But there are scenes of technology that don't seem about right. Now, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but there are two bits that stuck out to me the most. One was the closed-circuit TV footage that was used. Didn't seem very 70s to me. And the other bit was back at Hank Chan's apartment where his fiancée is preparing dinner. The kitchen looked ridiculously modern. Then it pans out to a shot of the whole apartment, and that looked kind of daggy 70s. But the kitchen itself didn't. Continuing on with some of the issues I have with this film, it subscribes to that just-in-time action movie trope. And what I mean by that is that something will happen and someone will rescue them just in time. Now, there are two very big examples in this film where that happens. And by the time the second one happens, you're just kind of over the whole movie. And now that I'm thinking about it, I watched the movie last night and I can't even remember which order these two things happen in. But the two scenes in particular are when Chubby is trying to get onto the plane to go to Thailand, and there is a massive shootout in the airport, which first of all, me and the person I was watching the movie with go, what the hell? Why is this happening in an airport and no one's stopping them? And then, of course, the ICAC come out of nowhere and save the day. The second bit happens at a warehouse where the ICAC think they've tracked down a shipment of all of the drugs, only to find out that there's nothing there. And, of course, it's a trap. And, the crippled hose gang starts shooting at these ICAC guys, and then all of a sudden, Philip Keung's character comes out of nowhere to save the day. I don't like that. Now, I know this movie is completely based in fiction, so, allowing some liberties for it to do that, but it just ruins the whole flow of the movie. But I have to say some positives about the film, and the positives are it's got a great cast. But that's about as far as it gets with the cast. So you've got Louis Koo, which, I love Louis Koo, it's great. Tony Leung, Francis Ng, you've got Philip Keung, you've got Kent Chen, and the awesome Gordon Lam. What we have here is Louis Koo cannot act. And Tom, if you're watching from Not Only Hollywood, I'm finally agreeing with you that Louis Koo just has zero emotion in his face to act. And this movie, either he just does not care, or that's just him. I'm not buying Louis Koo as a believable character here. Gordon Lam looks like he wants to be anywhere else. Tony Leung could not give a shit either. He is playing Crippled Ho. I believe he's playing it a second time. I'm pretty sure he's done it before. And he played Francis Ng's character in the first movie, the 2009 movie. Francis Ng's the only character, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name right. Seems the only character that the actor that I actually feel like did a good job in his role. On top of that, Kent Chen, who plays Chubby, and Philip Keung always give 110% in the movies that they're in. But again, it comes down to this old school, old boys club of movies and directors. Wong Jing casting Louis Koo, casting Philip Keung, casting Gordon Lam. It's the same guys in the same movies with the same plot. And it's getting to the point where it's just too much. Now, I know I'm probably not the target audience for this. I'm not Chinese, but I'm pretty sure the Chinese are probably thinking the exact same thing. Where are the new talent? Where are the new directors? And where are the new stories? You're not getting any of that with this film. So as a follow-up to 2009's I Corrupt All Cops, it's not working. As a standalone movie with a generic title of Once Upon a Time in Hong Kong, it's not working. So to give it a rating, well, it's 2 stars. And at 2 stars it gets because I did like some of the action. Some of the action was quite good. Some of the shootouts were great. And Philip Keung, Francis Ng, Ken Chen were great in their roles, but you've just got these very one-dimensional black and white cartoon characters who are either purely evil or purely good. You've got a story that, while makes sense, is just stupid, and a movie that probably just was made so a whole bunch of people could collect a paycheck. I can't recommend this movie, I'm sorry. But if you've seen it, what do you think? Leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought. I'm always interested in knowing what you guys think, and I do read all of the comments, so I appreciate them. If you have the time to drop one in there, press like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more video reviews. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time on the next video review on the Artie Dans or the Asian Film Fans YouTube channels.